Tehuti.
Peace, everybody. Greetings, Hotep Ma'at. Peace to everyone.
Peace, peace.
Glad to be here. Peace, Menkepara.
Peace.
Peace, Killer Priest.
Yeah. You call me priest.
Peace, everyone. As promised last week, I said I'm going to play the intro to the upcoming podcast. Pod class. Thank you. Yes, pod class, and we're going to get into the part 2 of the dismantling of Kurimeo. This one is merciless.
Dismantle.
So this is the podcast AD pod class.
Part 1. Oh shoot! And he got the hat on.
Yes. Watch the. Put that on. Is that on the screen?
Okay, we're putting this on screen too.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. For them, I want them to the crowd to see.
Listen up. Make sure y'all tell people to come through. We're about to listen right now to. Is this a strikeout or what?
No, this is an intro to the
Okay.
to the pod class. Yeah.
Coming to you.
Is it? It's a
Coming
video.
to you live. He has been teaching for over 20 years. A 9-0 record in official public recorded debates. You've heard many teachers out there before in the so-called conscious community, but none with the demeanor, calmness, and detail as Tehuti Amun Hotep Ra on such topics as breaking out of the matrix, truth on religious origins, underground conspiracies, secret societies, mental and spiritual health, the Anunnaki, the Neteru, Kemet and the origins of Mad, meanings and symbolisms of Medunetter, the only one who will stand in front of question of this wide range of subject matters, answer, question, and debate. Some have podcasts, but Tehuti is the teacher, so he has a pod class. Subscribe to the channel for updates, classes, and much more. Join the chat, call in, participate live. Get your notepads ready. Welcome to the Tehuti pod class. Open your mind.
Watch this.
I thought I was watching the Super Bowl. Yeah, it was hard. That was like NFL.
Thank you, bro.
Yo, man, shout out, bro. Shout out.
Thank you.
This is gonna be dope.
Yes, that is the intro to the pod class. Greetings, everybody. This is part 2. Let me get everything set. I welcome everybody to the chat. This is the best, as I say every time, this is the best podcast on the internet, the most open, the most free, the most fair podcast on the internet.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, my brother. Okay, and all right.
What's the ducks for?
Here's Nakas.
Hey, serpent is. Oh, he made that noise. Oh, that's.
There he is.
Go again.
Yes, hey Nakas, come over here, man.
Cause.
All right, everybody, we are going to get into part 2 of the Kurimeo misinformation. Come over, get out of it. I can't wear the headphones. The Kurimeo misinformation that has been spread, that for some reason people are listening to. I know a lot of people like fantasy over reality, unsubstantiated facts, and logical fallacies. So we're going to eliminate them right now. Say peace, Nakas. Peace.
Peace.
Okay. He's going to go here, unless Mink wants to hold him. Nope. Okay. Nakas, chill right there. Good. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get right into it. Okay, so you're in the StreamYard. I'm not even in this. I'm gonna mute. Tell me when you're in. This is gonna be a nice, interesting journey. Kind of cost. You're gonna go in here for now. All right, go right over here. For now, you can come up a little bit later. Okay. All right. How's the chat looking?
It went up already. It's at 348. And it's moving. They're in the building.
It's moving up.
Yeah, we got King Jaime. So I can tell by some of the names.
What can you tell?
We got Aboriginals is in the building.
The Aboriginals are here.
Yeah, you got Top Cats. You got
Peace,
Don.
all the Aboriginals, anybody who's original to where you're from. Anybody who's original to where they're from, wherever you're from, if you're original to it, peace and love to you, whether you want to be original or Aboriginal. Okay. All right, AD, are you in?
Yep.
Let's get it started.
Let's get it started.
Serious Biz, 20 on it. He said, "Go, let's do it. Let's do it."
Let's do it. Okay, so let's get right into this decapitation.
Yeah, let's go.
Flying guillotine.
Yes, let's get right.
I'm not gonna stop looking at the chat because y'all stupid.
Okay, so first we're going to
They said, "Let's go." So I see axes and arrows from the Aboriginal war.
War tribe.
Can you take me
not
to?
find the. Hold on.
If y'all just tuning in, it's about to go down. I'm here. I told you we'll watch a movie together, but this time it's gonna be a movie. It's gonna be a real live action. This is on set. It's about to go down.
Mm-hmm.
It's about to go down. Jay-Z said he had 6 bottles of Chris, right?
4 model chicks.
4 model chicks.
4 model chicks.
And then you got what? 6 tablets?
I brought the papyrus.
Send 4 papyrus.
I brought the papyrus.
It's about to go down.
Okay, peace and love, everybody. So let's get into this. This is going to take a little while. We're going to take a little journey through the logical fallacies of Kurimeo and a lot of other people who call themselves Aboriginal, who agree with Kurimeo. This has nothing to do with anybody who is actually Aboriginal. If you prove that you are Aboriginal to whatever land you are, whether you're Aboriginal to China, whether you're Aboriginal to Mexico, whether you're Aboriginal to Hong Kong, Jamaica, America, wherever you may be Aboriginal to, peace and love to you. This is for those who are trying to hijack Kemet into the story.
Facts.
They're trying to put Kemet in, trying to steal Kemet's history into the Aboriginal story. Let's break it down. Now, is the brother Aboriginal Power in the building right now? Is there any of them in the actual building? I'm gonna turn this down.
Roberto Reyes.
Is the brother Aboriginal Power? I actually spoke with him. I came on and spoke with. Yeah, it is a bogus term. Yes, absolutely. Is Aboriginal Power?
That's the king.
I don't see him in the chat. Okay, we'll get to him. So here is a claim from the Kurimeo person. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason why at the show where Kurimeo was here, I wasn't here. He will not return after that. After I released my first part, he released a rebuttal that had nothing to do with the actual topics I addressed. He started talking about how Isis and Osiris, some sculptures were found in America, not addressing the Tameri thing. See, he's trying to say the Tameri is the ancient name for America. So let's get into it. Here's a claim.
Shout out to Kenneth.
Shout out to Kenneth. Kenneth says, y'all can have Kemet. That ain't the debate.
Well, what is debate then?
I don't know. Peace to Kenneth. I'm not sure what that means, but let's get into this. So one of his claim is Napoleon. We all know that Napoleon went to Kemet. Napoleon went to Kemet. His claim is that Napoleon actually came to America. The Egypt that he went to, when he was in front of the Sphinx and blew the Sphinx nose off, as they say.
That was America.
He says that was America. Here we go. It's foolishness. Let me go ahead and play this.
He must be on drugs or something.
Yeah, he could. There's a lot of people that
The drugs are
medication or they are in need of.
Seroquel. Is that what it's called?
Guys, now who was supposedly, right? Napoleon was invaded Egypt, right, in 1700s, but you know the French were over here in the 1700s, right? This is what the Louisiana Purge is all about. What Egypt were they really at? Were they taking relics from here? Were they finding things in the true Egypt? What's going on, right? He was over here the whole time. They were over here the whole time.
So Napoleon.
This dude is smoking crack.
Yeah, some people are just, they're
Did he say
trolling.
anything after that? Or
Oh yeah,
that's
what's whole.
Okay.
We have time today. So he claims that Napoleon was over here the whole time. Okay, and once again, I don't know if this is all Aboriginal people claim this or whoever in his movement, but I'm dealing with the claims that Kurimeo said directly. Now here is, am I screen sharing?
Big Aboriginal powers on the chat. Let him in. Okay, where is he?
No, I just want to ask him a question if he's in. I just want to acknowledge that he's actually here. Mighty Hebrew, peace to Mighty Hebrew. Is Big Aboriginal in the chat? Big Aboriginal, if you're in the chat, the only thing I want to know right now, because I don't know what you and Kurimeo agree on, but the main thing is that that map that says T Americans. Is that something that you use also? The T Americans, that Tameri is speaking about America. But anyways, let's get into Napoleon. So here we are. If everybody looks at the screen, right? This right here is the Rosetta Stone. I'm sure most people have heard of it. This is actually the stone that Napoleon used to translate the Mederneter into his language, which was French, and then eventually it got translated into English. This is the Rosetta Stone. This Rosetta Stone, the reason why it became known to Europeans is because, first of all, it originates in what's called Memphis, the old Memphis, which is actually a Ptolemaic name, in 196 BC in the Ptolemaic dynasty, and it was on behalf of Ptolemy the Fifth. And what it was a declaration of becoming king. Now, the ancient Egyptian using hieroglyphic and demotic script respectively, while the bottom was ancient Greek. The decree only has minor differences between the three versions, making the Rosetta Stone key to deciphering the Egyptian scripts. It was discovered there in July 1799 by French officer Pierre-François Bouchard during the Napoleon campaign in Egypt. It was the first ancient Egyptian bilingual text. Study of the decree was already underway when first completed translation of the Greek text was published in 1803 by Jean-François Champollion, announced the transliteration of the Egyptian scripts in Paris in 1822. That is the Rosetta Stone. Kurimeo makes the ridiculous claim that the Egypt that Napoleon went to was America. This foolishness would completely alter Earth's history. First of all, he discovered the decree that was put together by the Ptolemies in Greek and Mederneter. So the Ptolemaic stone has different languages on it. It has forms of Mederneter, recent Mederneter, which is called Demotic today by whites, and ancient Greek, so that both people in the culture that they lived in could read it. They conquered Kemet in 332 BC. This is when the Ptolemies and Alexander came into Kemet in 332 BC. There is no record of Alexander and the Ptolemies conquering the Americas, and had to write a stone document in Greek and Mederneter for the people of the Americas to read in 196 BC.
Shout out to Kenneth.
There is no Mederneter speaking people in the Americas in 196 BC. This is laughable. Kurimeo, you need to apologize, because this is the first hit and the first blow of the lies. In other words, if you're saying that the Egypt that Napoleon went to was in actuality America, then that would mean that the Rosetta Stone was discovered in America. And what was on the Rosetta Stone? That a Rosetta Stone was a decree of the Ptolemies who invaded Greece, never came into America. It was a decree of how to become king. So are you saying the Ptolemies lived in America too? Alexander the Great came to America in 332 BC? Are you trying to alter all history? Okay. Let's move on from that. This is pure fool. I think this is jokes. He may be joking or high, I'm not sure. Now the next, so that's debunked. That nonsense that Napoleon, when they show Napoleon, you can pull up Napoleon beside the Sphinx, beside the head of Kuti. The only debate of Napoleon is, did he blow the nose off the Sphinx or did someone else? But is there that Sphinx in America? The Sphinx that Napoleon standing beside in the picture, is that in America or in the Nile Valley? No. That's in the Nile Valley, but he's saying Napoleon was in America the whole time. This foolishness. Now his next claim.
Did he come up with sources or
no? This is
just talking.
This just talking. He shows
talking out his ass.
He's just talking. If Napoleon never said he came to America, Napoleon had no interest in coming to the Americas to find. Anyways, that alone debunks. That just shows the foolishness of Kurimeo. But the next thing is he claims the Mississippi, that Memphis, Missouri, is the original Memphis.
We might set up a verse. This would be good.
Here we go.
Verses.
Let's play this for the people. This is what Kurimeo claims again.
What's further downstream? Let's see what's further downstream. What's further downstream? You keep going. You end up in Memphis, Missouri, Memphis, the original Memphis. This is the Mississippi, the Great River, Memphis, Cairo. You guys saw Cairo, right? Cairo.
So, what is this claim? That the original Memphis, let me get Puss covering his eyes. The original Memphis, this is why people don't, he's not coming to debate me, and the Aboriginals that believe in this are not going to come to debate me on this topic, because these topics are absolutely ridiculous and embarrassing. It's embarrassing that adults are actually teaching this and there's children listening to this foolishness. Be responsible with what you're teaching. So he claims that the original Memphis is in Missouri, Memphis, Missouri. That's the original Memphis. Okay, let's take a look. Here is Memphis. Memphis or Menefer. The word Memphis is actually from an Arabic word, which came from a Greek word. Memphis, Memph, pronounced in Coptic, and Memph in Greek, right, is the ancient capital of Ineb Buhed. In red, the Ptolemaic kingdom during the Hellenistic period. This is when Memphis was named. The same Ptolemaic period, he's again trying to put the Ptolemaic period, which is 332 BC when Alexander the Great came in, and he's trying to place it in Missouri. The Ptolemies were the ones going around naming the places in the Nile Valley, renaming them Greek. This man's saying the original Memphis was in Missouri. That means the Ptolemies were here and named that in 196 BC or 332 BC. Now Memphis was believed to be under the protection of Ptah, the patron of craftsmen. It was the great temple, Het Ka Ptah, the enclosure of Ptah. Memphis was a Greek word, Kurimeo. It was a Greek word. It was from the Ptolemaic period, from 332 BC. Thus, it's ridiculous for you to say the place is in Missouri is the original Memphis. The original Memphis was not even called Memphis. How could this be the original Memphis when Memphis itself is a Greek name and the indigenous name wouldn't even be Memphis? What type of foolishness is this? This is the original Memphis? How is it called Memphis then? It's a Greek word. Or are you going to say Memphis is some kind of Iroquois word? Memphis, so it's not even called Memphis, young man. It was Mehit and Het Ka Ptah. Let's look at the primary sources from the peoples writing themselves and not modern day conjecture. Here's the problem with the Aboriginals that follow Kurimeo and Kurimeo himself. He doesn't come from primary sources written by any Aboriginal people. Everything that he shows is something that a Spanish wrote, or something that Abraham Lincoln wrote, or something that in some modern day, some book that somebody in the 1800s wrote. He's never shown one writing coming from a Native American that agrees with what he's saying. Okay? So here are the sources right here. Let's go to the sources right here. What is this? This is the Per Amharu. This is the Per Amharu. What is the Per Amharu? The oldest known spiritual book to speak on the afterlife.
Get that Palo Santos burning. Start burning that Palo Santos and that sage together. You can mix them together in the pole.
They
Put 'em
gonna
together
need it.
with some frankincense oil in there. Oh my goodness. What's going on? What the blood seed, Lord?
Brought out the holy tablets.
Oh man. It's on.
The Per Amharu.
Wow.
This is the Per Amharu, and what these are actual just photographs of the writings of the Kemetians themselves. This is not translation. This is not rewritten. This is not a version. These are photographs,
Turn up.
pictures of the Per Amharu rolled out 78 feet, 1250 BC. This is in on plate 19. So we're gonna go here so I can show Kill the Priest. There's the actual plate. This is that. See that on the screen?
Yes.
Which is that. Okay. Here is the writing of the native people themselves. The native people to the Nile Valley. Here is their writing. And if we look over here, what they translate to as Memphis in English. See that word Memphis?
Yeah.
What does that say? Het Kapata.
Yeah.
So the natives wrote Het Kapata. The whites put in Memphis. The real name is Het Kapata. So how could Missouri be? Missouri is the original Memphis. Memphis is a Greek word. Native people never heard of a word called Memphis. Here is plate 19 of the Per Amharu, 1250 BCE, line 2. Here's line number 2, and I circled Het Kapata right there, which is right here. That same Het Kapata, you see the two arms, the flax, the square, and that is what's right there. There's the two arms, the flax, the square, and there's the land mass area. And I blew it up and put it right here at the bottom. This is Het Kapata. This is the actual writings of the natives themselves.
Yeah.
This is the picture of the Per Amharu from the British Museum. This is not the translation of the Per Amharu. This is the actual Per Amharu.
Shout out to Duncan.
Okay. The original Memphis, as written by the hands of the indigenous native people of the real Tameri, Kemet themselves, as you can see, was never called Memphis by them, Kurimeo.
Het Kapata.
You're wrong again. The original Memphis was called Het Kapata. That's the original Memphis. The Greeks came and called it Memphis. So there is no original Memphis written by any natives anywhere on the planet, whether it's Aboriginal, whether it's Iroquois, whether it's Aztec, Mayan, whether it's Kemetian, whether it's a native Jamaican. There's no natives on any ancient writings writing about a place called Memphis. That's strictly a white term. Where does it come from though? Let's date that. So this Memphis here, which is Het Kapata, the real Memphis, is 1250 BCE. That's 3,250 years ago. Where did the Memphis that he's talking about came from?
Work. This is work. No,
Here-
this is what happens, yo.
This is the you better come become the
You
source.
gotta come, you gotta come correct, man.
Oh, we got Lewis and Clark.
With the Lewis and Clark expedition, you're familiar, right? The Lewis and Clark expedition.
man.
This is the actual book about that area in 1887, right? St. Louis and Chicago, right? The Lewis and Clark Scotland counties of Missouri, which has the history of how Missouri came together and how they came up with the names.
Thanks.
Okay, this is from 1887. The new model book that you can actually get today, that you can order, is this one by David Wolf Eaton, and this one is How Missouri County Towns and Streets Were Named. Okay, I went to page 64 of that book, and what does it say? So this is the General Assembly. The General Assembly chose the name, and here it is right here, the Scottish people. Originally organized January 29th, 1841, the name suggested by Stephen W.B. Carnegie. That's not a native.
Facts.
That is not an Iroquois. That is not a native. A Scotchman.
Yeah. And where are Scotch people from? Scotland.
Scotland. I know they're not from the Americas. I know they invaded, but here we go. So the Carnegie, you've heard of Carnegie, like
names.
Carnegie Hall, right? So Scotchman, a citizen of the county, honor to his native country, Memphis County, seat of Scotland County, selected by the commissioners Obadiah Dickerson of Shelby, John Laird, goes on for the rest of the names. And then it says 1843, May 15th, 1843, and they selected the site, which was called Memphis. Samuel Cecil donated land for the county seat purposes, surnamed by J.F. Foreman. That's not an Aboriginal. J.F. Foreman, October 11th, 1843, first settled in 1833, named for the city in Egypt.
Wow.
So which one existed first? The Memphis that's in the Nile Valley, or this Memphis? This Memphis, according to their own record, their own writing, the people that put Memphis together, the Carnegie people who put it together, are saying they named it after the city that already existed in Egypt. So if it already existed in Egypt and the Missouri Memphis is named after that, how could the Missouri Memphis be the original?
Immortal. What's that?
How could it be the original? This is pure laughable foolishness. So, okay. Now let's get into what I really came to.
He got so many people fooled. That's what be tripping me out.
Yeah,
like,
because
come on,
people
man.
people like what sounds a logical fallacy.
They wanna be different.
If something that sounds good, it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Like, look, Memphis, Missouri. Look, there's a river there. Maybe this is the Nile.
Yeah.
It's like the wolf.
Without doing the knowledge.
The wolf.
though.
howling towards the moon.
Okay, so back to that. So Kurimeo put out a video with everybody in the panel as a monkey, as a Neanderthal, as some type of caveman, but he put Killer Priest as a wolf. He's the only full animal there, right? That's a subliminal. Because when the Killer Priest podcast first starts, it starts with you in Native American headdress. And then and then one of your highest viewed videos is called
Grandmother's Land.
Grandmother's Land. So when the black natives saw that, they were happy. They were happy.
Right,
Killer Priest, he's a Native American, Grandmother's Land.
Right.
So the Kurimeo thinks that you were on his side. So what did he say on the phone? You didn't have my back.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So thus you're a wolf in sheep's clothing.
But you don't want to say.
Right. That's why you were the wolf. So let's go.
I know they're gonna. This is gonna be a
This is gonna.
Massive head already, yo. They already chopped his head off.
What?
We playing soccer with that joint now.
What?
When they kick
Yeah,
that
they used
joint
to
over
do
to you.
that. They used to do that to cut the head.
Yeah, he play soccer with his head. right now.
Immortal. Who's Immortal?
So
Armani.
now
What's up?
here is Kurimeo. Here's the logical. I'm going to show you how he makes logical fallacies, right? Now he's creating words and putting letters that are added, that he's adding, that are not inside of the culture. Let's take a look at Kurimeo again. Watch him create the words.
In this book is called A Book of the Beginnings by Gerald Massey. And it says here,
I like the little music he be playing in the background.
Gelius, Diodorus. Egypt was named Area. The Egyptian Aur, later Aer. But look at this Area. Just add an M between the A and the E. What do you get? Ameria, right? Ameria, Area. All right.
Oh, he's like Santa.
Yeah.
So the
words.
right. So Kemet was called also Aor. Aor, the A symbol, which means great, and a little bird symbol, which makes it sound or, and it also means great, like massive. It was called the massive great place called Aor. The Greeks can't pronounce things, so when the Greeks say, they turn Aor into Aeria. They turn Aor into Aeria. So once again, Kurimeo doesn't go by what the natives write. He goes by what the Greeks write, which is Aeria, and he says just add the M. What do you mean, silly man? What do you mean just add the M? I don't want to add the M.
Right.
That's not a part of the language. It's nowhere in the language of Kemet or the Native American language. Any Native American language said, hey, take a Greek word and just add the M. It's not in the etymological dictionary. It's not researchable. Nobody added an M. You're adding an M, but nobody in history added an M. So he's like, Ameria, and it's still not America.
Right.
So now you have to add the C. Area, Ameria, America, add the C. America.
I want to live in America.
That's like me saying, kill a priest. Just take the P away, add the Y. Killer
West Side
yeast.
Story.
Yeast?
Yeah.
This is pure foolishness, right?
Killing the yeast.
Killer, he's the illa yeast. Take the K away, illa, and you start creating words. You can't do that in reality because that's not what was done in history. Okay, so now,
It's on and
here
popping.
he is making up words again.
We had.
He made up some more words.
Oh, wait to watch this.
It's on and popping. I told y'all in my live that
Another
this was gonna
name
go
of
down.
Egypt is Tameri. Again, another name of Egypt is Tameri. Again, Tamerican, Tameric, the Tameriqua, Tameri, Tameri.
Hold on. That sounds about right. I see America in there.
Tameri is land thus deposited. The vulgar English to ta is a child's word, and it means to deposit.
Oh, that's it. We can end the show. He just broke it down.
Tameri.
I had to take a shot. I had to do that.
The gift of the goddess Mary, the goddess Mary, or Mary, who had dual form as Mary Rest, South, and Mehi, North. Egypt is also designated the land of the eye. Alright, so that's interesting. So Mary Rest, South, we're talking about South America, and Mexico.
Mexico? No, he did not say
But
that.
hold on. I do see. Hold on, let me say this. I do see.
Mexico. No.
Hold on, but Mexico. But I do see the word Mary.
Right, just like we see the word Moore in Mary Tyler Moore's name.
Exactly.
So now here's a logical fallacy. See, Mary Tyler Moore, she really had that knowledge.
Right.
She really had that knowledge. Her mom had the knowledge. That's why she named her Mary, and she was really a Moore. She was Mary Tyler Moore, and you start taking Mary Tyler Moore's name, and now you turn Mary Tyler Moore into a Moore, and you go to her mother, and her mother's like, "What the hell? What are you talking about?"
Wow.
The mother didn't.
Mexico.
Yeah.
He almost had me. I almost dived in there. I'm trying to-
So just because you see, first of all, when the word Tamere was created, we're gonna get into that though.
Yeah,
but he's taking Tamere. He's actually taking it from a.
Hey, look, they already disowning them, yo. They disowning the Camaro. They done already
this
disowned him.
Camara's done.
Yeah, they disowned him already.
Somebody
yo.
said embarrassing.
He's done. Camaro's done.
Yeah, they
so
disowned
Mary
speak for us.
I'm trying to walk with you, Carl.
Mary Tyler Moore, and that's like saying, look, look at this. Watch. See, Matt Damon's father was really Kemetic. That's why he named him Ma'at, and he was a Damon, Maat Damon. Anybody could do that. Anybody could take that. See, they prophesized that AD was gonna come after the BC, so that's why they named him AD.
Wow.
AD, and he was gonna be the real singer. Diana Ross, AD Ross.
My last name's Ross.
Rosicrucian. Anybody can do that, but when you say where can we research that? But this is pure foolishness. So here's Tameri, and now here he's trying to change the word again.
He said Mexico, I swear.
Mexico.
I can't believe he said that shit.
He landed Habsburg. Alright, and it says here, the time came when King Ausar was murdered by his brother Sed. The Almighty gave Aused a son to slay Sed. After avenging his father, the son of Aused, named Heru, ruled Tameri. He ruled where?
Now watch. It's what he does is he's saying a word, then he'll start singing it, and that's how he changes it. Why does he have to sing it though? He's like Tamare, Tamari, Tamaru, Tameri, Tamerika, He tried to do that with the word Heru,
Right.
and he couldn't turn into anything, so he got a glitch. He went to Heru, and he tried to change it, and he couldn't, so he just kept saying Heru, and he was stuck. Watch this, watch this madman.
All right, chill, yo.
Tamerika. He ruled Heru, ruled Tamerika, Amaru, along with his mother in peace. At still.
So.
No, my man ain't going out like. What is it? Heru.
It's like he's-
We need to mix that joint, Joe.
it's
Put
the
that joint
remix.
on the joint.
The Hitman Holler remix.
Heru, ruled
They're going in on him, yo.
Heru, ruled Tamerika,
America.
It doesn't say Tamerica.
Yeah.
It says Tamare. Why are you adding the ka? See,
It doesn't.
It says Heru ruled Tamare. He's like, look, Heru ruled Tamerica. But then once you accept the first change that he makes up, then you accept that Tamerica, Tamericans, Tamericaniqua, Tamericandika, then you can start dancing with this word. And I'm like, where did the Native Americans ever say this? Where do the Kemetians ever say this? It's you saying this.
Mexico,
Watch what he
Mexico.
says. So he says Tamare, America. Watch what he says about America. Watch this.
along with his mother in peace. At still later time, the people of Tameri, sailed even further downriver and built the mightiest nation of the ancient world. They called the nation Kemet.
Stop right there. So he's saying Tamare's America, right? And then he said they, the Tamarians, called their nation Kemet, and they ruled for thousands of years, 6,000 years. Where in American history does any Native American call this land Kemet? Where is this? Where is he said that the Tamarians, which is really here, the Nile Valley is Memphis is Missouri, the Nile Valley is the Mississippi River, and this is really Tamari. And he said then they called their land Kemet. When did Native Americans ever call their land Kemet?
Let me say that I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that before. I heard that Memphis was the now.
Yep.
But
We're
you
hearing
asked me a question that I can't answer. I can't answer.
Yeah, we heard it, and I heard it too. We heard it just from him. But Memphis, the Memphis was a place that was named by Ptolemies. That was really called Het Capital. Native Americans never heard of the word Memphis. The ancient Kemetians never heard of the word Memphis until Alexander the Greek came. So here he is trying to change it. Heiru, Tamare, Tamarika, Tamarika.
I gotta give you that. What's the singing about?
Because if you remember a long time ago, I played a video of a guy that was I called him Harry Potter, and it's because you'll say one thing, and when you sing along, this is why songs are more addictive than lectures. We can remember. You can remember your favorite song, but it's hard. Right? Yeah. It's hard to remember your favorite lecture or a part of it because the song is a melody, and because we're harmonious beings, melodies catch us, especially the hooks. So we can remember a hook. So to get us to remember the English language, they got us to sing it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. But you don't sing numbers though.
Yeah.
You don't say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You just say 1, 2, 3, 4. You just say it. But when it comes to English language, they put it in the chants. A, B, C, D. That's a whole nother class though. But by doing that, it makes you memorize the thing. So that's what he's doing. He's saying Tamari, Tamaru, Tamarika. Why? He's trying to do it with Heiru, and he couldn't change it. So he's stuck with Heiru.
Right.
He's stuck with Heiru. Now here we go. Now here he says the original Nile was the Mississippi, and then he said
This is getting good.
Ancient Kemetians hijacked it.
What?
Wait a minute. He said that ancient Kemetians hijacked from America?
Yeah, hijacked that America was Tamare, and the Kemetians and Nile hijacked it. I'm going to play it right here. Here we go.
That's a big statement.
Clenching his fist. There we go.
Which means great river. Just like Nile in Egyptian, in Greek means great river. This is the original Nile. You see this? Look at the Missouri River, the Ohio River. We're about to check out what's in the Ohio River.
I got to get them on the show.
I just want to show you guys the correlation here when we're talking about the Tameri, right? We're talking about the original Tameri, the beloved land. The Egyptians had corn, right? We had corn all over this because it was over here, right before the hijack. Shout out to UBTV, man. He did a whole series. You know, America is Egypt,
Where's
man.
Original power, Aboriginal power. Where are you?
Do you see that before the hijack?
Okay.
So his claim is that Kemet hijacked.
Right.
Who hijacked?
That's a big statement.
Right. So America had Tamare, and then Kemet came and hijacked it. Now let's get into reality. Let's get into the writings of the actual natives themselves. Here is from the Berlin Museum.
No, I'm gonna let Aboriginal on the panel. Where's he at? Is that him? Immortal?
Right.
Is that him?
Right. Only to address this here is about Kurimeo statements.
Ooh.
I'm not going up against this. This is about specifically.
Yeah.
Kurimeo made a challenge to the podcast.
Okay.
I wasn't here when he made that challenge. He would have got crushed if I was here.
Right.
I was watching, and so I decided to answer the challenge. And the challenge is: does he teach anything that's not true? Disprove anything factually? Well, I'm doing it right now. Here is we're in the Berlin Papyrus 3022.
He's in the chat. Okay.
Right. This is the story of Sinahu from the period of Senuseret, Amenemhet III, Senuseret to Amenemhet III, 12th dynasty. This is 1939 BCE. This is a document from the BCEs. Not a document from modern day Memphis and Missouri, not from the 1800 ADs. This is from 1939 BC, Berlin Papyrus 3022. Let's see what it says. Let's see what this is speaking of. If you want a reference of where you can get the translation, you can get it from the Literature of Ancient Egypt, which is on the screen right here. And this is the story of Sinahu, where he's writing it, speaking in first hand. Translation, here it is. Hereditary noble and commander warden district officer of the estates of the sovereign in the lands of the Asiatics, the true beloved royal acquaintance, follower Sinahu, said, I was a follower who followed his lord, servant of the king's harem, and the hereditary princess, greatest of praise, King Senuseret, Kunemet, Sut, daughter of King Amenemhet. Amenemhet, yes. That's your son's name? Oh, right. So this is him speaking. This is his translation of the writing that goes back 1939 BC, writing from an original Kemetian. What does he say? Okay. On page 63, line 210, we see beloved land in the story of Sinahu. Remember, Kurimeo says that Tameri translates to as beloved land, right?
Shout out to Thedos.
Across is the transliteration line
Brown.
210. We see Tameri in 1939 BC written in the Nile Valley. There is no land or word Tameri anywhere in the Americas at this time. Thus, Tameri originated in the Nile Valley, not the Americas. As line Kurimeo is promoting, show us Tameri in the Americas in 1939 BC. You can't. Here is the translation in English on page 62 to 63. Lord of the beloved lands. See that right there? I got that squared, the beloved lands. When you go to, so I went to the transliteration. The transliteration, right, over here on line B210, put nut har war had netiru nebu tamare. Do you see that? In the square? That's T-A Marie, or they put a J there for an I. There's Tamare. There is the transliteration. And it's Punt Nut Harare, all the gods of Egypt.
Wow.
So Senuseret in 1939 BC, where he puts Tamare, the whites put Egypt. So Tamare is written over here in the Medunetter in 1939 BC, way before any Native American. First of all, Native Americans never wrote about Tamare, period. One time. Not even one time is there any ancient documents with a Native American talking about Tamare. Here is Senuseret in 1939 BC, writing about Tamare and his lord Amenemhet and Senuseret. Okay?
We're trying to get him on. Don't worry about it.
Right? Here it says, I was a follower who followed his lord Amenemhet. Here is Amenemhet from 1991 to 1962 BC. The story is written by a man, Sinahu, who was a follower of Senuseret, Amenemhet's family, who, according to the native author himself, lived in Tamare. This is somebody themselves, writing themselves firsthand. Not a commentary, not a book, not Spanish. This is the Medunetter, a man along the Nile Valley in Africa, writing about his beloved land, and he puts Tamare, the beloved land. This was in 1991 BC. There was no king in the Americas, which is supposed to be Tamare, according to Kurimeo, named Amenemhet. So Amenemhet, according to the writings of the indigenous people, was the king of a land called Tamare. Can we find an Amenemhet in the Americas in 1939 BC, talking about a Tamare? These are Nile Valley first-hand stories, not stories about the Americas. Can you give me the name of any record of a Native American king in 1991 BC? What's the name of a Native American king that matches this? Talking about Tamare, there's none. They're taking, and he's saying that the Kemetians hijacked. But this date predates any Native American record of a Tamare. So how could the Kemetians be the hijackers when the Kemetian story is first? Here is Amenemhet. This is Amenemhet. Right. Well, how does he look to you?
Black man.
This is Amenemhet, the king of the land of Tamare, as wrote about by first-hand account witness of someone who himself, he lives in Tamare. These are actual artifacts made by the people themselves, dated with the museum numbers today. All of the archaeological finds of the people themselves say they lived in Tamare are only found in the Nile Valley. in what is called Africa today. There is not one pre-colonial artifact found in the Americas where the people themselves, not a Spanish writer, the people themselves, there's no Native American themselves saying that their land is called Tameri ever recorded.
Kenneth asks, why discredit Spanish authors?
Why discredit them? They ain't got no credit.
Is this from my bag or is it yours?
That's yours.
Oh, thank you. Why discredit Spanish authors? Because Spanish authors are not native Aboriginal people. We are talking
And he
about
put 5 on it too.
we are talking about the claim is that the native indigenous Aboriginal people of the Americas, that they call their land Tameri, not the Spaniard invaders. The Spaniard invaders came late in the ADs.
We're trying to let y'all in the door. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
So why am I discrediting the slave masters? I'm confused. Anyways, so this is Pharaoh and indigenous Nile Valley Eminem, right? This is block. This right here. The block is in the upper lintel of the pyramid complex, Amenemhet, and El lists with the scene of the king on 2 thrones, a double pavilion related in the said festival, Amenemhet the first. This block is currently in the Egyptian Museum, Cairo, number 40484, according to the museum's records, was brought to the museum in 1908. This is an actual image made by the natives themselves of a man who him and his follower both say they live in Tameri. This is a native image from the Nile Valley, not Spanish invaders, not conquistadors. The claim is that the Native Americans called themselves Tameri and the ancient Egyptians hijacked it, but yet we have records of Tameri 1939 BC and no record of anybody in the Americas calling their land Tameri. So that claim that the claim that Kemet hijacked it is pure blasphemy. Now, for those who want to see, this is the Book of the Dead, the actual
Peace to Infinite.
This is the Book of the Dead. This is the unrolling of the Book of the Dead here in the museum.
Okay.
This is what I have here, right here beside me.
Okay.
So this on the screen, pictures of this is what's inside of here.
Okay.
This dates back 1250 BCE. So inside of the Book of the Dead, on plate 30, 1250 BCE, right, on page 190 of the Book of the Dead, we see, what word do we see here, Killer Priest? What is that?
Tameri.
Tameri. This is in 1250 BCE. Here's another native person of the Nile Valley talking about their land, writing it themselves, called Tameri. So what I did is I not only showed the translation and the transliteration, but this is actually the plate right here. This is the plate blown up. And here is the Tameri. This right here that I'm waving my mouth over, that's the Ta. This is the Meri that I broke down last week, the Meri. This is the R. This is the sprouting of the Nile, and these are the 2 lands because it was Upper and Lower Egypt. Tameri. And there's the sprouting, the beloved land, sprouting up, flourishing. This is written by the hands of the native Kemetians. This is not a translation. This is not a distortion. This is not from the 1800s AD. This is not from a Spanish man. This is not from Columbus. This is by the native people themselves. Let's go by what the native people... See, here's the white supremacy going on. People have doctrines not based on what the native people wrote themselves. They can quote what Herodotus said, like the raw unk guy, the astrology guy from last time. They can quote Herodotus, they can quote the Spanish conquistadors, but they can't go into what did the natives themselves say about themselves, because whites want people to believe that natives themselves are too stupid to speak for themselves. But no, we left records. Here are the records. So this is the actual Purim Haru, plate 30, written in the hands of the native people themselves in 1250 BCE with the word Tameri. Now, here is the meat of the claim of Tameri, right here, by Kurimeo. So we pause this right here. We can see ancient Egyptians. This is his video. Ancient Egyptians, ancient Egypt was called Tameri. Watch how he changes the word. Tamericans. Okay, look. Here is why we can't go by the Spanish, because the debate or the claim that he said is it was called by that themselves. You see the word themselves there, Min Kepra? Egypt was called Tameri by the Egyptians themselves. Tamare, Tamaru, Tameri, Tamer, Amer, America, American, Tamericans, America, America, Ameru, Karu. What is going on right here? So here we go. He says he changes the word. And watch, he shows a map.
You gotta be an idiot to listen to this dude.
Somebody
man.
asked me about the map last week. Here it is right here. See this? So he shows this in his video. Tamaru T-Americans. See that? So he says, look, T, that's the ta, and there's the Americans. But he's forgetting the rest of the writings. Guis, Van, Florida, Door, he's forgetting all that. See, he's just seeing the T-Americans. What is the rest of the writings? What's going on in the rest of the writings? Where is this picture actually from?
Seminole.
Let's go. What do you say?
Seminoles.
Let's go to the source of the picture, because it's easy to, and this is the first time that I know of anybody debunking. Everybody can come to this video if they ever hear anybody talking about that America was called Tamari because it had the T there, it had apostrophe T, Tamari. Yeah. Here is the source of the picture. It's a picture that's actually for sale. Here's the source of the picture, right? From Lawrence Ruderman, right? Antique Maps, circa 1706. And here's the author, Peter van der. Peter van der. Apostrophe T dash Americans Guis van Florida door Ferdinand de Soto. So here it is right here, $750. Here's where the image comes from, right? So what does he do with that image? He takes the image and he blows it up and he says, look, Tamare. And if you read that, look at that, it could say Tamare, can see? Logical fallacy. Why is the apostrophe T there though? What language is that? Is that Native American language?
That's French.
Is there any Native Americans? It's actually Dutch, but watch this. Is any Native Americans have the T with an apostrophe there? What's the source of this picture? Where does it come from? Let's take a look. He's already. Here is the full picture. This is actually just Florida. So here's
I said Seminole too. I swear.
This is the picture. Peter van der A.A.'s biography. Peter van der, 1659-1733, was a Dutch map maker and publisher who printed pirated editions. Let's start from the beginning again.
You see the seven on there.
Peter van der A.A. biography. Peter van der A.A. 1659 to 1733 was a Dutch mapmaker, publisher who printed pirated editions of foreign bestsellers and illustrated books, but is best known for voluminous output of maps and atlases. Van der was born to a German stonecutter, Holstein. Interestingly, all of the Van der A.A. sons came to be involved with the printing business. Helderbrand was copper engraver, and Boudouin was a printer. So here's the picture here. And if you blow this up, let's see if we can find it here. Blow this up. Oh, big. There it is. Pierre van der, see the name right there? Pierre van der A.A. Okay, so this is the source of the map. Let's look at the map. For all the people that believe that Tamare, that they got this name from the Native Americans, nope. We're about to, for the very first time on the Killer Priest podcast, destroy this myth. I've never seen this destroyed before. I've never seen this taken apart. We're going to do it for the first time, exclusive here on the Killer Priest podcast. Now, let's look at it closely. Notice there's a T apostrophe here, and notice the word van. You see, it's easy to deceive people that just see things and it sounds good. Tamari, but you're ignoring guis van and the apostrophe T. Notice the apostrophe before the letter T. As in T, this is a distinct trait of Dutch. It is a part of their names, along with van. It is also denotes the word the in the word. Let's look back at the artist again, who made the picture, and take a look at his ethnicity. So we have T and we have the word van. These are indigenous to Dutch words. This is Dutch culture. The apostrophe T and van, not Native American culture. So let's go back. Let's go and see who Peter is.
Fire blaze.
Yeah.
Peter Van.
I'm about to call my man.
Peter,
He's Dutch too. I'm about to call my man Shroom.
Peter.
Retarded.
Here we go. Let's look at Peter Van. Peter Van, 1659, late in August, was a Dutch. What was he? Dutch. So him having van and using apostrophe T is common. Dutch, known for preparing maps. Here he is. Peter Van AA over there. See that? As we see, Pietro Van AA was Dutch. It's very common for Dutch to use the apostrophe T to signify the word the, as in the Americans. Not the false logical fallacy narrative that Kurimeo and other Aboriginal movement people are painting the picture. The question is now that I've pointed this out, will we get a public apology to the public for the lies that have been spread by Kurimeo?
Hold on, let me say that.
Time to clean house, nigga.
Now that we know that the source of why it says apostrophe T Americans has absolutely nothing to do with Tameri in Kemet. It has to do with a Dutch man adding apostrophe T and Americas. Now will we get an apology? Let's go. I'm not done. We're gonna feed the maggots now. We're gonna feed the maggots now. Let's go to Dutch grammar. Let's dig in. I'm not done with this. Let's dig in. Let's go to DutchGrammar.com to T and D verbs. DutchGrammar.com to T and D verbs. Here it is. You can go to this website and see over here T Kofschip and Pokerfish. Probably quite difficult to remember these letters separately. To remember them, the Dutch use the apostrophe T, the cough boat. So see, the apostrophe T is Dutch for the.
Damn.
See it right here?
Drinking so much
in
tea, I
the
forgot her name.
Dutch grammar website, apostrophe T is the, as in T cough boat. T cough chaps is the breeding sheep. The apostrophe T is the word the. It has nothing to do with Tameri. It's a Dutch thing.
Fire. Time to clean house.
Time to feed the maggots. Now, if you think that Tameri, if you think that T Americas has that T is the land, then let's go to the physicist. Let's go to the well-known Dutch physicist. What's his name? Oh, Gerald apostrophe T Hooft. Is that Tameri too? Is that T land?
T hoof.
Apostrophe T.
I said T hoof. T
Hooft.
T
Right.
T hoof.
There's the apostrophe T. This is found in the Dutch language, right? Why is it there? Because it's the Hooft, which is hoeft, which is Dutch for head, or the leader of something. So here he is right here.
Done.
Gerald apostrophe T Hooft. See, the Dutch use this, not the Native Americans, Kurimeo, not the Kemetians. This T has nothing to do with the ta in Medunetter that means land. This is the apostrophe T that came from the Dutch that means the. We need an apology. So here he is right here, Gerald T Duft, and what was he? He was Dutch.
This is why I said what I said when I talked to. You got to be ready for smoke, because smoke will come.
Now here is Peter Van AA, Dutch publisher, the same one who drew that picture. Let's go to some more of his work.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Let's go to some more of his work down here to publish atlases. Uh-oh. What is this? T Noter? T Vasti? You see this? Here's some more of his work, which has the T there. So it's not just Ta Americans. T is a common, apostrophe T is a common writing for the Dutch that means the noter. Let's look at the noter, Deel van America, door C Columbus. T noter, let's go take a look at that image. Here's the nail in the coffin. Look at this. Go to fineartamerica.com and what do we see? The nail in the coffin for Kurimeo. We see here clearly that Peter, being Dutch, uses apostrophe T in his artwork to denote the, as we see here in the title, T noter. This has nothing to do with Tameri. Drop your ego and send the public an apology, Kurimeo, for lying on our ancestors. Let's blow this map up. Look at this. Look at the map. Now it's not Ta America anymore. Look at this. It's T noter. You see the screen, please? Look at this. T noter. The noter. What's noter? North. As in Notre Dame. Notre Dame, right? Noter, Dutch for north. It's the north. And look, now America's there. It's not T America no more.
Yeah.
This is the same artist. It's just the America. T noter. T noter, you see this right here? By the same artist. The same artist uses apostrophe T in his artwork. Peter Van AA, T noter D Van America. See?
Yeah.
T noter, there's the map. The same guys we see in the thing that Kurimeo shows, they're the same guys, but now it's T noter, it's not T Americas no more, because T is just for the, not for land. I'm not done. So the final nail in the coffin, as we so as I will expose clearly, expanding the drawing by the same artist Kurimeo is using, Peter van der EE uses T frequently in his art. If Kurimeo is saying T means land like Tameri, and he uses Americans, does that apply to the physicist Gerald T. Hooft? As he's from the land of, is he from the land of Hooft?
Done.
Stop the lies about Kemet, or you will get crushed every time I see it.
Facts.
Here is Gerald T. Hooft. He's not from the land of Hooft. It just means the.
Dummy.
Here's all the images together. Here's the same artist, 1706, circa Peter van AA, Ta Americans. See that? Right beside it is the same artist, T noter. T apostrophe T Americans, apostrophe T noter, apostrophe T Huft. The nail is driven deep, Kurimeo. We await your public apology. If none is given, then the world will know that you are intentionally attempting to deceive people. With all this information that I just put out to Tehuti, all this information that I just put out, if you still have that video up after this, then now you're intentionally lying to the people.
Wow. That's hard. That's deep. That's deep. Shout out to Danny Salinas.
So I'm gonna take it off of screen share.
Yeah, okay.
So if you still put this information out, if there's anybody after this video that still puts out the information that Ta Americans means Tameri, Tamaru, Tamarica, if you're still putting that out, knowing that it was a Dutch man who just used the apostrophe T as the Dutch use in their names, if they're saying the North, they're going to say apostrophe T Noord, like is in Notre Dame. This is what the Dutch use. So everything that Kurimeo uses to verify his claims of the native Aboriginal Americans is coming from white people. It's coming from Dutch. It's coming from Spanish. It's not coming from the hand of any Native American. No Native American chief, no Native American soldier, no Native American scribe, no Native American writer, not the pen or the hand of any Native American source ever said in his entire life that this land was called Tameri. Or Tamarica, Tamaruca, Tamari. No Native American ever said this. This is coming from the Dutch.
Hey, I know when you saw that and you saw that little apostrophe right there, and he was like,
oh, he's dead. He's done because
got
I'm doing this for the children. I'm doing this for the children. I'm doing this for the new people that want to learn about Kemet. If anybody is teaching Native American culture, Aboriginal culture, just teach it as it is. Teach it as it comes from the Aboriginal Native American people, what they say themselves. If you're studying Kemetic culture, please just teach it as it is. Teach it as what the Kemetians say about themselves. If you're studying ancient Sumerian culture, please just teach it from the cuneiform tablets. Teach it from the Sumerians say themselves. Go to translations. There's thousands of translations out there. Do not add your modern day thinking, looking at something, not understanding Dutch culture, not understanding any of these cultures, and just putting your own thinking into it, and then making up something for these new people that want to learn about Kemet, thinking, oh, the Mississippi, Missouri's here, and Missouri is Memphis, and it's the original Memphis when it was named in the 1800s. And the original Memphis is 196 BC. That Memphis you're talking about is in the 1800s AD. So stop the lies, Kurimeo, or any Native American, Aborigine person, or anybody teaching this. This has nothing to do with me attacking Aboriginal people. I have no beef with anybody Aboriginal, and I will not allow what Kurimeo did to try to turn this into a battle between Tehuti and the Aboriginals. Any Aboriginal that comes online or comes in the chat, whatever problem you have with whatever the situation is, it has nothing to do with this presentation. Only if you back any of these claims. Anybody who has the nerve or pride to back any of these claims can come on and back it in front of me in person. Show me Tameri. I don't want to hear nothing about ancient bones found in America. I don't want to hear nothing about the pyramids. That's not my debate. I debate specific topics, and I will not be what's called orthogonal derailing into another topic. My topic is only these things that Kurimeo is saying. So if you're a representative of Kurimeo in the chat or you watch this video, contact me, come on the line, and present that these things are true. They're not true. Stop lying, Kurimeo. And you're in the collab.
Hey.
Peace. That's it. Nail in the coffin. Maggots fed.
Oh my goodness.
Finally eating, huh?
If you are in the building,
Yeah, I guess some boy
I
wanna
like
come
them
on
bombs.
now.
I like them bombs too.
You got time to clean house, nigga.
If he's defending these claims, I don't want to hear any new. If he's talking about these
The
topics.
phones are going off right now. The chat room is lit up right now. Yeah, listen.
And sorry. Oh, for all those who are watching this that are new, subscribe to the Killer Priest podcast. This information comes out all the time for me. I always try to bring this. I'm into debating, I'm into facts, I'm into knowledge, and also in the description box will be my YouTube channel. If you want to come for any personal classes or knowledge or any of the videos there, subscribe to that, and you can contact me at the information. Is my information below, AD? Yeah. You can contact me at the information below if you have any knowledge discrepancies, curiosities for knowledge, want to know about my writings or anything, contact me.
Drop the link.
Okay. Go ahead, Priest. That's it. The maggots are fed.
Immortal, what's his name? Immortal, what's that? Armani said drop the link. We're going to give you the link. Here is the thing. See, when you, yo, man, that was, man, I'm speechless.
Done.
Speechless.
Cooking this.
Now I talked
Flipping the burger, yo. Flipping that joint. Flipping the burger on the grill. That shit done.
I spoke to Kurimeo.
Kurimeo.
I spoke to Kurimeo and I told him, oh man, the snake is up. And Vinny was on the phone, and like you said, my thing is when you come out with knowledge and you come out with claims, you gotta have sources. And you got to be willing to know that cats are going to ask you questions. People want to know. You know what I'm saying? People want to question what are you saying. But he was like, nah, man, I don't. You know, he just got his.
Yeah, he want everybody to take his knowledge off face value. Lord, that's not what we do.
Everybody takes on everybody. I still want to know about the Codex Giga. It's the Codex Giga. Oh, you said that wrong? Sir Giga? Codex Gigas.
Oh, that's Donkey asking. Donkey, just if you can't contact me directly. I remember that from a long time ago. Sorry about that. I remember you asked that like a month ago and we were gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it at a later time or directly. I wanted to strictly deal with this topic right here. that we're discussing.
Yeah, this is strictly war. I thought you was coming in. I knew you was coming in, but I didn't know it was coming in. And they got the arrows all in the chat room. The arrows is up there,
That's
but
good.
the man don't.
As long as they're not shooting any white people.
Yeah.
Firebomb.
You got time to clean house, nigga.
Kurimeo will never come on here.
Huh?
Nah, he's
Kurimeo,
done.
nobody who represents his knowledge will ever come on here.
And it's crazy because everybody that came on here, the Aboriginals in the chat, they was
Yo, how
like,
can
nah,
we-
he don't represent us. Like they was
trying
hurry
to
up
get
and
this
jumping
thing.
ship, Lord. It was every man for himself. They was jumping ship fast.
Can I
Like,
say
damn.
that email out so he can come on? Because
Yeah, we always put that email out. It's info@killerpriest.tv.
Yo, all you gotta do, Immortal, this is info@killerpriest.tv. You can come right on here right now. Because you keep saying what's the hold up? It's right here, man. The platform's right. That's what the platform is for.
Well, I want to say too. Also,
You don't got no beef with him, no.
Yeah, and I want to say too. First of all, these people taking this for granted. You could never go to Sonetter's show and just say, Sonetter, let me on. What's the holdup?
Right.
This is the Killer Priest show. If he wants to let you on, or if he doesn't want to let you on,
Right.
it's
You
up
gotta
to
think it's my
you.
show.
Can't go to another person's show and tell the owner, what's the hold? Let me in your house. What's the holdup, man?
Right.
There's no hold up. He will just let you in whenever he chooses his show. You can't go to Joe Budden's show.
Right.
What's the hold up? Nori, get me on Drink Champs. What's the hold
Yeah,
up?
exactly. What do you mean what the hold up is, yo?
There's no hold up. We're addressing Kurimeo.
Yeah.
If you represent all those who represent Kurimeo, press 1 and you can come on one by one. I don't want to hear any new debate topics.
That was clear.
I'm only discussing the Kurimeo claims.
Are we clear? I see somebody right there. Who's that?
Killer Priest, what's the hold up?
Yeah. AD.
Yeah.
Who's that right there? Is that somebody?
Hold up, Nori.
No, that's his screen share.
Oh, okay. All right.
Is that still on the screen? For the
What's your, huh?
This is here.
I'm not screen sharing. Am I still?
K by practice. Haven't seen you in a long time, bro. So
No,
one
no,
love,
no.
Macapara, for defending Marcus Garvey. No doubt. Shout out for that, man.
Absolutely.
That's another thing. When you're making big claims like that, man, it's hard to just say things, even if you think you're right. But you gotta be able to take that on, you know what I mean? That's a big jacket. And plus, like Macapara said, what is that doing for us? What is that gonna do? Yeah. Revealing that.
So when we ask you, when Menkep and others ask what's the agenda, the original agenda for black people to get knowledge of themselves, for anybody to get knowledge of themselves, is to know who they are so they can start making moves outside of the matrix,
Facts.
and outside of physical bondage, and to eliminate their self-hate. So when he asked Kurimeo, what's the agenda? He could never say this is for black people's liberation, because that's not his agenda. It doesn't matter who the leader was. One thing they all agree to, whether you were Elijah Muhammad, who was a Muslim, whether you were Noble Drew Ali, whether you were Malachi,
High as hell, right?
whether you were Farrakhan, whether you were Khalid Muhammad, whether you were the Black Panthers, one thing that they all agree to is that this is to liberate the dumb, deaf, and blind black people to learn about themselves so they can get self-empowerment. But when somebody comes on and says this other type of knowledge, and you ask them, what's your agenda? They can't come out and say he can't say this is to liberate black people. Notice he never said that.
No.
So so is it to liberate us, to make us believe that we're Native Americans? Fine. Then you have to bring sources, and that's fine. That's not even my debate, though, and that's why I will not let this turn into a debate of
Right.
Native American versus whatever, because
Right. It's not a debate.
I'm
Then
here for
check
false
your
claim.
email, Priest, because I'm not sure who's contacting you for what. I don't know what's going on.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna check my email. And
If y'all want to get on the show, do not contact AD.
You know what, Kill Priest?
right.
Okay, Hotep. Peace, everybody. Where are the super chats from the people that want to get on the show, that want to support the show?
That's right.
Where are the super
real
chats?
talk. That's real talk.
You're asking Killer Priest what's the holdup. Did that man give a super chat to support Killer Priest?
I don't think so.
80?
I can open super chats right now.
Yeah, open the soups.
Did that man, the man that's asking the owner of the show, what's the holdup to let a man come on the show? Did that man support the man that he wants to get on the show? or he just
No.
wants a free ride?
We got John Bertrand says, Tehuti, how can I contact my ancestors without going through the Haitian LWAs? Luwas.
That's the super chat.
Yeah.
Peace to what's the brother's name?
John Bertrand.
Peace, John Bertrand. And repeat it. How can I contact them without going through the
Haitian Luwas.
Great question. So, in a show earlier, I was discussing the Aloha, which is a word that means workers, and that in the Haitian culture, I had the opportunity to make a contract with the Loa and contact them that they would do favors for me, and in turn I would do favors for them. I did not like that agreement, so I, along with the brother here, wants to know, well, what about other ancestors who are not those? The very first reference to contacting any ancestors, because when we talk about ancestors, we're talking about those who passed away. The very first reference and record of that, of anyone on this planet Earth contacting an ancestor, is the pyramid text. I want you to contact me directly, my brother, and I can walk you through, because to understand which ancestors you're even wanting to contact, you have to go back to the original version, the original story of ancestral contact, that is the pyramid text and the Pur Emharu, the very first. While the pyramid text was being written about contacting ancestors and contacting the dead, there was no other record about that. And that's what people along the Nile Valley read to learn. But it's very extremely complex. I could never walk you through it on the Killer Priest podcast. But this book right here, the Pur Emharu, is the first papyrus book that discusses the contacting of the ancestors and how to exist as one of the ancestors, which means that in ancient Kemet, we did not just teach how to contact the gods, but we also taught how to become immortal ourselves and how to live in the etheric realm after physical death, so that we ourselves could be an ancestor to our future people. So you can contact me directly, and we can talk and walk through that. It's not something I could walk you through on the Killer Priest show, but I'm glad you asked. The Loa are not the only source of contact of ancestors. There are multitudes of ancestors. I go by the Nile Valley ancestors. I chose not to go to the Loa because of the agreement that I had to make, whereas the Nile Valley ancestors don't make that agreement. So contact me. Peace and blessings to you, and thanks for that super chat.
We got one from someone named Aboriginal Power. He says, bro, Tehuti, you came and invited me to come on. That's from Aboriginal
Info.
Power.
Where's he
at? Y'all come in and came in on the joint.
I think he's the only one we said that could pop up. Killer Priest was like, what's that?
I mean,
Where is
I
he?
think Priest is checking his email right now
Okay.
for that.
Yes, peace, Aboriginal Power. Yes, I actually went on his show to find out who he was, because people kept saying that I should talk to Aboriginal Power. So I went on the show to find out who he was, and I made clear to Aboriginal Power that this topic is strictly based on Kurimeo's claim. And I asked him, do you stand on Kurimeo's claims? And he says, more than less. He says he agrees with most of what Kurimeo says, but not all of it. He also said clearly that he had some discrepancies with some things that I said, and I said, yes, you can come on the show and discuss the topics of the discrepancies and the things that I addressed with Kurimeo. But I'm not starting a brand new debate on another topic like who had the oldest bones. I'm not discussing that. I'm discussing claims that Kurimeo said. So yes, Aboriginal Power, I did invite you to come on, so we're looking for you. And we will send you the link to come on and keep it on the topic and organize, and just you. So yes, you can.
He says, I came to speak for us. Kurimeo, don't speak for us.
Okay. I'm
Jumping ship.
yeah. So I'm speaking. I'm speaking to the claims of Kurimeo. If anybody agrees with the claims of Kurimeo, and they want to back up the claims that I've addressed, then they can feel free to come on. If anybody is a Catholic or believes in the Cherokee's teachings or is in Hindu or whatever other topics that are not on the topic that we're discussing, then it's opening up another topic. So yes, as far as the 90% of the things that you believe, that Kurimeo believes in, if they're addressed in the things that I brought up, then feel free, yes, to come on. I mean, this is for that. This show is for that.
And if you email Priest, we'll send you the Zoom link. Let's see. So you got another one here. AB says, first off, you came on AB Power, telling him to come on. Now you acting like you don't see him in the chat. We waited through your... No, he acknowledged him. So that must have been before.
I sent you one email.
Okay.
So, I'm tea drunk. I'm having a good time, bro.
Yes, Aboriginal power, and all these people that are talking about coming on. Once again, are they? They're sending super chats of support, right?
Yeah, hit a super chat, man. Support.
You got another one here when you're ready.
They're just complaining, but not supporting.
Okay.
And yes, Aboriginal power can come on to discuss the topic. I said I want it to be organized. It's specific topics we are discussing. Not to come on and just talk about just Native Americans. I'm not here to talk about Native Americans. I'm here to talk about the claims that this man said about Kemet that are false. And that's it, period. There's not a show about Native Americans. It's not a show about Kemet. It's a show about the claims that Kurimeo said. And if anybody wants to come in and represent those claims,
I just sent it to you.
That's fine. Come on in.
Okay, and then Kill Illuminati says, Tehuti, why do people say Thoth is an Atlantean?
Beautiful. That's a super chat?
Yes.
Wonderful. Great question. Who asked that question? I want to give them a...
Kill Illuminati.
What a name. Kill Illuminati. Oops. Shout out to Kill Illuminati. Respect to that question. That's a great question. And let me get...
See, all right. He already has it too. Okay. Did Bragadino hit you with something?
Yep. Okay. Zoom link sent to that email. Instagram video from Bragadino ready when you're ready.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. So, let me go ahead and do a screen share for the super chat person. Ready? Okay. Kill Illuminati. I'm going to show you the source of Atlantis and where all this madness actually comes from. It comes from Timaeus. This again goes back to Timaeus by Plato. This goes back to Greeks again. We have to. It's good to understand that a lot of the belief systems that people have today are superimposed by Greek mentality. That means when you trace things like the New Testament back, Christianity back, it goes back to Greece and Rome. When you trace astrology back and the Sagittarius and Capricorn, all of that, it goes back to Greece. When you trace back the Septuagint, the Bible, it goes back to Greece. When you trace back Atlantis, what happens is there was an invasion in Kemet and in original lands. Before there was an invasion, there were humble Europeans that used to come and sit at the feet of our ancestors and actually learn prior to the actual invasion. The invasion was in 332 BC, By that time, Alexander the Great came in. When he came in, the Kemet was already invaded prior to by Darius the Persian. Then he conquered them. Prior to this, in 360 BC and in 570 in the 4th century BC, we had Greek philosophers that went into Kemet and they started learning. And then they started creating their own stories because they did not have any original stories. Their oldest writings, the Odyssey, the Iliad, those stories only go back to 900 BC, and they don't go back to any time in antiquity. The Greeks started taking Kemetic stories and rewriting them as Greek stories. Here is where we find Atlantis mentioned by Plato in 360 BC, and we go down to the line over here, and it says, they call the boundless continent. Now this is the land of Atlantis. The great and wonderful empire had ruled over the whole island and several others. Atlantis had subjected parts of Libya. And this is where you can find it. You can find Atlantis here. Now here's what happens. When the Greeks came in, they started taking Kemetic deities and turning Kemetic deities into Greek deities. So Tehuti was the messenger. He was the writer. He was the one that transmitted information. Information's transmission is extremely fast. It actually takes place in the SMA area of the brain, which happens as fast as the speed of light. This is how fast that neurons transmit information. So information transmitted through the brain was associated with something that happened extremely quickly. Tehuti was the transmitter of information. He was the first known scribe in the Kemetic writing. So the Greeks took him and they turned him into Mercury. Mercury, being the fastest planet in the solar system, became now a planet which was associated with a man who had wings on his hat, which symbolized fast flight. The same wings are put on the postal services and the eagle wings, which represent the flying wings of Mercury, the speed of the fastest planet. So they started turning Tehuti into Mercury, the fast messenger. Mercury and all of these Greek deities were pederast into homosexuality and into things that Tehuti, the original one, was not into. Then they transformed Mercury and Tehuti into Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes 3 times great. Then they took the word Tehuti and they translated the word Tehuti into Thoth. Thoth, Thoth. Because the ancient Kemetians acknowledged that Tehuti was the oldest of the messengers and the oldest of the scribes, the Greeks started associating Tehuti with the oldest place that they invented called Atlantis. And they started placing Tehuti in Atlantis and started calling Tehuti the Atlantean. Then they made up a set of books called the Emerald Tablets. Then the Emerald Tablets, which are Arabic books, became popularized by the occultists, by Madame Blavatsky and the Golden Dawn and others who started telling people about the Emerald Tablets, which are not an old set of tablets written by Tehuti at all. They're actually extremely young tablets. They're not even tablets. They're just writings. And then this got attributed to the oldest scribe Tehuti. And so they started calling the Emerald Tablets the Tablets of Thoth. Nowhere in it, again, we're back to the white supremacy narrative that we should believe what the occultists say and not what the indigenous people say. So nowhere in the papyrus does it discuss anything about an Emerald Tablets, anything about Tehuti being from Atlantis. This is all Greek invention. Greeks made this up because they had to give themselves a place in history. So they started creating places that had Greek names, like Atlantis, and started taking Kemetic deities and giving them Greek names, and then giving them names like Hermes to trace themselves back into history. So that's why we now think that Tehuti is from Atlantis. It's not in any ancient teachings or any ancient writings.
So they wrote them into their history.
They wrote them into Greek history. So peace and blessings. I'm going to take a quick break and step away and for a quick moment. Keep sending the super chats and I'll be right back. Peace and blessing. And thanks for the question, my brother. I'll be right back.
All right.
And here we go.
We're turning it on to Menkempera. It's the Menkempera show. Go ahead.
And see what had happened was.
What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yo. I've seen a lot of people make up stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that had to be the worst.
Oh,
That had to be the worst. To take a Dutchman's name, word, sound, and then say that that was the ancient word for Tameri. Like, man, that's just a massive beatdown. Like, your credibility and scholarship is done. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I got a submission here. Admission into the Zoom. I'm gonna go ahead and let him in, priest.
Let him in.
Okay, here we go. Setting up Zoom.
Who everybody was waiting for.
Everybody stand by.
He got some
We have a
cartoons
guest.
too. He got more cartoon characters.
We have a guest
Yeah,
coming in
he got,
here.
yeah, he got some cartoon. Yeah, just look at the cartoon. That's a nice cartoon there.
Audio is setting up. Stand by.
Nice
All right.
cartoon characters. Imagination is good though. I like imagination.
Y'all hear me?
Check 1 2. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm on somebody else email and shit. Whether it ain't my avatar, this the homie avatar.
Oh, that's your
Hey, this
homeboy
is
avatar.
right here. What's going on?
What's going
Not
on?
much. Priest is in the kitchen right now. Tehuti's taking a quick break. They're gonna come back real soon. Right now, it says me, AD, and Kempera at the moment. They will return soon. So
Hey, let me say something right quick.
All right.
Boy, man, I'm gonna speak on behalf of the Aboriginal community. You
Okay.
feel me? He never have.
let me get the speaker on over here so Priest can hear you. Hold on.
So you saying Camaro don't speak for y'all?
Yeah, he don't. That's the only reason I really want to come on.
Uh-huh.
To clear up information and to clear up there. Yeah, he never claimed to be Aboriginal during that whole 5-hour live stream. So I don't even know why y'all even put that on there.
Okay, so if he never claimed to be Aboriginal, then where did the Aboriginals come in for to do what?
To get the record straight, because you got somebody that y'all claiming speaking for us, and he ain't even Aboriginal. So when
Nobody said that he was claiming to be speaking for y'all. Y'all came in when he came in.
Nah, I didn't even
This
come in
debate,
saying-
this debate about Aboriginal people never
I don't
even
know. I
popped
know
up
people
until
tell
he
me.
popped up.
Say what?
This debate about Aboriginal never popped up until he popped up. It seemed like y'all came in when he came in.
Right, yeah, because he was on speaking on behalf of the Aboriginal community, and I'm telling you right here, as an Aboriginal, he don't speak for us. We, you know what I'm saying? The way we line up our information, the way we bring information out, that's a whole other thing. I'm not saying that the brother didn't have no information when he came on, but he don't speak for us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So what's the goal and objective of the Aboriginal community?
getting our people in their proper position.
What's
so
the
they can
proper
be-
position?
Hey, it's a whole lot of things that we gotta do. First of all, we ignorant to the fact of who you are. We don't even know how to operate within this system. So first off, being aware of who you are is one of the first steps. You see what I'm saying? We already been lied to, told, and alluded to the fact that we all came over here from some slave ships. But we know that that's not true. You
How do
what
we
I'm
know
saying?
that that's not true when there's documented facts that is true?
Because under research, it tells you that Negroes was already here. That so-called black people was already here in this land, operating, building, creating.
And
commerce,
there's also
science.
research that says that black people came over here from Africa, from West Africa.
Yeah, that's true too. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny that. But in that same story, it got tons of white people that come over here as slaves. So it seems like when y'all tell the story, it's a halfway told story.
No, it's not
You
a
see what
halfway
I'm-
told story.
So,
I mean, there's actual slave
anytime I've ever
ships.
heard
Hold
that
on, man.
slave story from a
I want to hear what he got to say.
Okay.
All right.
Every time I've ever heard y'all speak of a slave narrative, I never heard y'all mention of the thousands of white slaves coming over from Europe, or the Ireland, or wherever, or East Europeans. Never ever. And they came over here during the same time that the so-called Africans
Yeah.
came over. The same
Yo.
period. So that's weird. Y'all never speak of that.
So-
But then when we
oh,
speak of it, it's like, oh yeah, we already knew that.
But we got to understand something though. The reason why black people don't speak upon so-called white indentured servants that came over here is because black people aren't concerned about them. Why would we be concerned about white people coming over here when we already
Nah,
know they came
listen,
over? That wouldn't even be a
the
lesson
thing,
to
though.
be taught. If we
This the thing, though.
listen to me.
My bad,
Why
go
would
ahead.
I speak about? Why would I speak about if I'm trying to correct my people about their history and where they come from? Why would I even mention white people coming over here as slaves? White people didn't come over here shackled down to the bottom of slave ships. They came over here as indentured servants trying to escape Europe tyranny.
Hey, let me cut you off right there, because that's false. Like I said, I used the correct terminology. They came over here as slaves, and they were slaves before they came over here. So it's not that the point that it's not something that our people should be concerned with. Our people should be concerned with getting a full story, no matter what it is. Not halfway, not a quarter. but the
That's
whole
that's
thing.
irrelevant though. To be honest with you, that's irrelevant on how white people came over here. That's irrelevant.
Listen,
Let him
what I'm
finish.
saying is
I
giving
wanna
somebody.
hear, I want to hear him finish. I want to hear him
What
fully.
what I'm saying is giving somebody part of the story and deny and withholding information deliberately is just like lying. All right, so that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna tell the story, get a full story. That's what I'm saying. And then you said they didn't come over as indentured service. There's also court records in Virginia law that states that these people were slaves, came over as slaves. Also in the London record that they came over as slaves, not just indentured service. There was indentured service too. We're not denying that. But I'm talking about directly slaves, white slaves here in America.
Okay, so you
Well,
making my
now, so
point.
let's get
You
to
saying
the
that
fact.
white people
So
came
my
over here
point
as
was-
slaves.
my
And you
point-
saying
my
black
point
people came
initially-
over here as slaves. Okay,
No,
so
my point is initially is when you hear people talking about we Aboriginals, y'all get a stank face. Like when I said that Negroes was already here, then you gonna make up the argument that okay, black people came. That's not the argument. What we saying is there was Negroes already here. That's attached to a history. That's attached to a culture. That's attached to inventions. That's attached to contributions that has been implemented all over the world. You see what I'm saying? So when we start talking about contributions in America and what's highlighted around the world, when we talk about Egypt, for instance, people highlight Egypt because of the things that they brought to the table, the feats that they brought, the accomplishments, the contributions. That's the same thing we bring to the table. And then y'all look at it and be like, well, these ain't black people. Are you crazy? These are Negroes all on the mirrors. These are Negroes all in the codexes. These are Negroes all in the steles.
All right. Could you do me a favor and could you show yourself or you just want to come on as just an image?
Oh no, I can show myself, but I'm kind of in the back, like you know what I'm saying. I'm out on the road. I got a show. I'm at my homie house right now. I got a show tonight tomorrow in Atlanta. I'm actually on the road. I'm actually out of town. I'm not even by my computer. I'm using somebody else's computer. But yeah, you can see me right here. You see me?
Okay. The thing was, Kurimeo, right? Kurimeo.
Yes.
Kurimeo.
Where are all
He said he
the
doesn't.
Oh, yeah,
He said
my
he
bad.
don't
where are all the
represent them.
where are
I
all
was
the
saying
Jumped
Kurimeo?
off that ship.
I'm
Where are
saying
all the
peace and
Kurimeo
blessings,
from? Where's
to
the
you and
phone?
Tehuti, while y'all was gone. I didn't get to speak for y'all while y'all was walked away, but I want to say peace and blessings while y'all back on here. And the whole reason I even tapped into the live stream is because I seen the information. So that was put out here and who was putting the information out. And it seems like he was speaking on behalf of Aboriginal as a community when he's not even an Aboriginal. He don't even identify as an Aboriginal. And so the information was kind of getting confused and meshed together because it's a difference between Native American culture and history and indigenous Aboriginal culture and history. So
Yeah, but he didn't speak. He didn't even bring out nothing. Did you see the show?
I seen parts of the show. It was a long show. It was like a 5-hour long show. It was pretty long.
Right. That brother came on here and said he wasn't prepared, and he also said that I had to go watch his film, which was 2 hours, which we didn't have time to do. I thought at least he'd be prepared and have something, but he didn't explain anything or break nothing down with no sources or nothing. He just was talking, and I tried to talk to him about that.
That's another thing that got me too, because that's what he was doing. He was doing a lot of talking. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's what we was going to come on here for. When we say we got the oldest pyramids or we got the most pyramids, I know people just, this is a random claim, but these are sources that we want to make. When we say we got some, or what experts say, we have some of the oldest form of metallurgy, or these people invented the number 0. These are huge claims. And I know it sounds crazy, but we like to show you the sources of where we got it from. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So this is what we like to bring to the table.
That's for you too. She said blessings full moon. Tehuti and Macapra. Oh, that's Macap. That's Macap right there.
Peace to third eyeball. Peace and love.
Bella, yeah.
Third Eye Bella.
Third eye Bella. Sorry. Okay, third eye Bella. Peace.
She has a crush on you too.
Thanks for the support.
Tehuti came up there.
Yeah, so I would like to know, so when I came and sat down, I guess that's the brother Aboriginal Power on there right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, peace, brother. I did come on the show and I told him about the discussion. He said he saw it. And I'm really curious as to see where are all the Kurimeo followers. Remember when Kurimeo was on the show?
Yeah.
The whole chat.
I don't know if you was looking in the chat. A lot of people was telling y'all from the get-go, even though it was some fire information. Like, this the thing. We ain't gonna deny.
Hold on. What fire information on who? It's from
We ain't gonna
Camaro?
deny certain good information that he put out, right?
What-
But it's
what-
certain
what-
shit that we don't.
Let him build. I know you go ahead. You want to bring that sword? Go ahead. Now let him build. Go ahead, bro. What you were saying?
I couldn't hear what the other brother was saying, but now I'm just saying it was some shit that people that the people in our community seen that he put out that they were like, okay, that's some shit. They just want to see you show it too. You know what I mean? At the same time.
Thank you.
At the same time, they like,
You
you know,
didn't show
he's not an Aboriginal at the same time, so he's speaking on behalf of shit that he ain't. He didn't screenshot, so you know that's one of the things what we came on for. You know, I'm out of town. We still really screenshot.
See, you're not the first brother, man, that I done heard. I got brothers out here too that, you know what I'm saying, that have made that claim like, yo, you know, we not African and this and that, and we was already here, and that's all peace, to be honest with you. I could really care less. At the end of the day, is do you know who your enemy is, and are you striving on a day-to-day basis to accomplish your goal of freedom? Like, if you want to say you from over here, okay, that's cool. If you want to say you from Africa, then okay, cool. But then at the same token, it's like, yo, what's the over? That's why I asked Camaro the first thing. What is the agenda?
Yeah, the goal is getting our people in position, liberating our people to get them in rightful position. Right now, you know what position we is as melanated people in America, no matter you think kings in Africa or whatever claims you make it. We know that we in this situation together, and we know a certain solutions that we can take to get to success. I'm not saying that there's one way, and we know it ain't no one way. Everybody got their game plan to get it, but what we saying is, on behalf of Aboriginals, we here to help Negro, Black Americans in America, help their benefits and their situation.
But see, that's when you see this what I really want to explain to you, brother. This, and I really want you to understand this when I say this. See, when you fighting against global white supremacy, right, it's the reason why Marcus Garvey coined the word Pan-Africanism, because Pan-African mean that all black people of the world unite to fight an enemy with the same common cause. When Biden was just in office, right, and up under Obama, right, and he made that call to go ahead and go over there and kill Gaddafi, right? Because of what Gaddafi was striving to do, to unite black people across the world. He wasn't just trying to unite Africa. You know what I'm saying? Gaddafi had connections with Farrakhan over here, so he was trying to unite all black people. These people, when they fight, listen to me. Let me finish.
Yeah, one at a time. We ain't gonna be doing it back and forth.
Yeah.
It's one person
When
at a
these
time.
people, listen, when these people are striving to destroy us, right? They didn't just come over here and be like, you know what, I'm just gonna destroy you because you Aboriginal. No, they like anybody that's dark, we getting rid of them, we go kill them and we go and enslave them. That's what Pan-Africanism stands for. It stands for global African supremacy, so that we can get back into the power structure of being back on top. Not necessarily just being back on top, but being free. But we can't do that, man, if every time something come up, everybody want to divide themselves. Well, I'm not messing with y'all because I'm focused just on the Negroes over here in America. Like, no, these white folks don't care about Negroes over here in America, and they don't care about black folks over there in Africa. You know what I'm saying? When they went over there and dropped bombs over there in Africa, when they went over there and dropped bombs over there in North Africa, they didn't care.
Go ahead, bro.
I understand what you're saying. You said a lot, so I'm gonna try to do my best to respond to what you're saying. So listen, what I'm saying is, I'm not opposed to what your ideology is. That's your ideology, but you can't be forcing your ideology on other people that have their own set of history, that did their own research to who they is. You see what I'm saying?
What ideology are you talking about, bro? Either we trying to get free or we not?
Well, listen though, bro. Listen, I'm trying to get free from my people, bro. What I'm saying is,
your people is everybody around here.
Let him talk. Let him build. I want to hear his part.
Yeah, let me build. Yeah, I want freedom for my people. I don't believe all people are the same. I don't believe all black people are the same. I don't believe all skin folk or kinfolk. So what I'm saying is, I'm strictly dealing with my people. And if I can focus in on a small group and contain that in a particular area, then maybe these particular solutions can be borrowed from other people to help their situation. We're not opposed to anybody, bro. I'm strictly dealing with America and where my people is, where my ancestors is, and where I'm fucked up at, and where you fucked up at, where your people's fucked up at right now. That's what I'm talking about.
Tahuti over here laughing. But I mean, that shit sound good, bro. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, America is just a continent, man. We was brought over here.
But what's funny though? I don't see nothing funny about it.
It's funny, bro, because all you doing is causing division. That's the same thing I told my bro over here. All you doing is causing division. Oh, I'm not messing with them over there. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Bro, you know how many African people have died, man? You know how many, listen to me, let me finish. You know how many African people have died, bro, because of the same symptoms that we suffer from over here? It's no different.
What I'm saying is,
you know what I'm saying? America still has, America still has the same policies of colonization over here they have over there. It's no different, bro.
Let me say what I'm trying to say, big homie, because we have heard it before. What I'm trying to tell you is, I'm not obligated, and I'm not saying that I'm not trying to help, but what I'm saying is, I got people here right up under my fingertips, right up under my arm, that need help right here. You understand me? I'm not saying that people don't need help elsewhere. That's not what I'm saying. I'm strictly focused, right? Keyword, focus. I'm strictly focused on Black Americans.
Okay.
Aboriginal Americans.
That sounds like division to me, bro. That's just a fancy word. All you just coming up with is a fancy word. I'm focused on just strictly Aboriginals over here. It's a global fight. You know what I'm saying? That shit you coming up with now, that's some new shit. Pan-Africanism has been pushing for years. The dude just said, this dude just came up here and just said, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, the African people ain't doing nothing for us over there in Africa. Bro, you know, somebody just put that in the chat line. You know how many African leaders have died? You know how many African leaders have died because of colonialism?
That we have,
like, come on, bro.
Listen, this whole conversation, now you're trying to make it. See, listen, this is what you just did. You just did.
No, I'm doing what you doing. You dividing yourself, talking about you're Aboriginal, and that's just that.
But let's have an understanding. Hold on.
That make no sense to me.
But let's have an understanding. Let's get.
You asked me what my solution is. Then you got mad off of my answer. Then you brought up a reason somebody else talking about Pan-African.
No, I didn't get mad after your answer. I got mad because all you're doing is causing division.
Part of my conversation. I'm not even worried about that. I'm talking about strictly working on people in America. So if you with that, I'm with that.
No, it's a global fight, bro. I'm not just working with my peoples in America. I'm working with everybody.
I'm not telling you what you're working with. All I'm asking you is, if you're working with Black Americans, I'm with you. Simple as that.
Ain't no such thing as no Black American, bro. I mean, where you get that from? There's no such thing. That's just a word these crackers came up with.
Listen, I'm using this for just colloquial sense. But when I'm saying Black, I mean Aboriginal American. Black people who always been here. Black people.
Man, how many Black people do you know just already been here? You niggas just making up claims from like you just been here. Come on, bro.
My brother just did a documentary called Hidden Cultures Hidden Cultures in America, and it explains how almost 9 out of 10 Black Americans you run into when you ask them about their heritage and what tribe do they come from, they never acknowledge the African tribe. They always acknowledge.
Man, how many black people got self-hate?
So that's one of the main dedications that documentary is from. So when you ask me the question, how many people know this? A lot of people.
Man, there's a lot of black folks over here with self-hate, bro. Like it would never surprise me. It would never surprise me when somebody would ask that they would have self-hate. Like that's a common thing in America still. A lot of these black folks don't even know.
Yeah, y'all talking over each other and y'all can't hear each other. One person talk, the other person listen and then respond back.
Yeah, I don't really want to. I mean, that's cool. We can have a back and forth. We can pick the attention points and we can line up a debate and smoke. And I can bring all my sources, or we can do it now. It don't matter. I'm just trying to get my point across. This is my first time on a panel.
Okay.
I had somebody else speaking on, so I'm just trying to get what we standing on.
All right.
Aboriginal. You know
So, all right, okay. So, but you did acknowledge that Kurimeo said something that was wrong, right? I mean that he didn't explain it correct, because I gave the brother an open space to go ahead and explain himself, and instead of that, he was going back and forth with the panel.
Right, and it was certain things that y'all was asking for source-wise, for your own verification that wasn't brought up. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just asking what sources do y'all want on some claims about indigenous aboriginals being here and their contribution? What sources do you like?
That's another whole, right. So we'll reset.
I heard about the Kemet conversation. I really didn't care about that. My whole point was coming on to strictly talk about aboriginals and what we got to offer in our history here.
Okay, we're gonna have to reset that one. Yeah, we're gonna have to reset that one. I just wanted to clear up some things, and I didn't want to go too deep into the. But do you have any sources with you right now? Because you're right on the spot. You know what I'm saying? I
always got sources on the spot for anything you want to know. Anything you want to know, I always got sources on the spot.
No, I don't have no question right now. You know what I'm saying? Next time. Or another time, another time.
Anything. I'm talking about for us bringing. I'm talking about for us having the science of pyramids, the oldest pyramids. Us bringing 600 food crops to Africa.
Okay.
I mean,
the oldest pyramid. What's the source?
Pyramid, Corral, Supe, Rosetta, and John Haas.
All right.
I can pull it up right now if you want me to.
Yeah, pull that up.
Pull it up exactly. Let's take a pyramid.
You put.
I give you just a second to put it on there.
Shout out to Crypto.
They say you ain't allowed to screen share.
Shout out to Donkey.
I got you. I got you. I'm gonna hook you up right now, and go ahead and try now.
We ready. I want to see it.
Let's do headphones. Let's do it like a real podcast.
I'm pulling up right now. My bad. This is my first time being on Zoom about this.
Hey,
You good. I was talking to Tehuti.
It's all good.
You guys see the screen though?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you good. Good.
What did I miss? What's
We
happening?
can go straight to it. We can read them the source. We'll give them the sources where I got it from, and we'll just move on from there.
All right.
We said this comes from the encyclopedia, so it'll be credible sources in. They can look at it.
What did I miss, or what's happening right now?
He's gonna show the biggest pyramid ever. It is in America.
Oh, I thought you said the oldest pyramid. But
Oh,
you
the
said
oldest, the oldest.
You want the oldest or the largest? Which
The
one?
largest. Let's go to the largest.
Give both of them. You're a good guy. Give both of them.
We're arguing over. white terms.
Huh?
We're arguing.
Nah, he just
Arguing over white terms.
no. We made it clear about Kurimeo.
Yeah.
That was clear that he didn't come with no sources or anything like that. So he just said, you know, I got sources on me right now. So I took it and just said, okay, let me see one. And the oldest pyramid and the biggest one.
Yeah, this is I'm gonna let him go, but this is where the argument. This is where black people start arguing over white superimposed terms.
Right.
So when you say the oldest something and you pick the name for that something, that means both cultures have to acknowledge that that's the name of that thing.
Yeah, I don't really like the older thing. I don't really like the dates, but I don't really agree with
So when we say the oldest,
Okay.
pyramid, it's because Europeans invented this term called pyramid and then superimposed that any building that looked in any type of triangular shape, that's the name of that building now.
Right.
Even though the natives never claimed that term.
Right.
So Kemet had buildings that were called Mer-Aku, and they were called Mer-Aku for a specific reason. Mer meaning attraction, and Aku meaning light, because the mathematics of the base of the pyramid is actually the same mathematics as the speed of light, and it generated light energy through the middle of it. The Europeans and the Greeks came and they start making up terms for other cultures, because once again, we are to believe that ancient cultures can't speak for themselves. So the whites come and they say, oh, look at that. That looks like that. So that's a pyramid. Oh, that one over there, we're going to call that a pyramid. And it's whites naming these things. And then hundreds of years later, blacks start arguing over who has the oldest of that word, when the native cultures never called those buildings those words. So when you say who has the oldest what? What did the Native Americans call that building, and what did the Native Americans and the Kemetians call those two buildings the same thing? In order to put two things in the same category, they have to be the same thing. Did the Native Americans ever call any structure a pyramid? And did the Kemetians ever call any structure a pyramid?
The pyramid that they got arguably is Ladanta. It's in Guatemala. It's El Mirador Bison. It was found by Dr. Richard Hansen, right? And I believe that is
Found by who? Who was it found by?
Dr. Richard Hansen.
What was your
source?
Sorry, can I ask Aboriginal brother? Aboriginal power?
Yes, I can hear you.
What is the name of the structure that the natives called that building? What did they call that building? Did they call that a pyramid?
They call it, I believe that the term that they would have used was temple.
Or what?
Temple, that's English. Sorry, what's the Aboriginal term for that building? So that we can discuss that, why they called it that, and then discuss if there's other buildings called that.
I mean, I don't know what the hell they called it, but in English, what we speaking now, they don't call that a pyramid.
English.
Okay, so what's happening is, once again, Europeans went around naming structures and then calling those structures the same thing, and they said this is called a pyramid, and over there that's called a pyramid, and over here that's called a pyramid, and the natives never called it those things.
So what I'm saying is, listen, I understand what you're saying. So do you have any experts saying that this particular structure, like Ladanta or dark-hearted jaguar, is not a pyramid? Do you have any experts saying it's not a pyramid?
An expert would be a native Aboriginal person, yes? That would be the expert on that building, a descendant of those who built it. That's the expert.
Let's say.
Hold on. Is the expert the experts of that building would be the builders of that building and his descendants, correct? That's the expert.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Okay.
Now, what I'm gonna ask you,
do I have any
living descendants of people that directly had contact some people that built it?
Okay, that call it a pyramid. I've never heard of any ancient native in any ancient writings calling any building a pyramid. So I'm asking you, as the native expert, I'm asking you to give reference to your own culture, to what did your own culture call these buildings, so that we can discuss what that name means to see if it's even the same meaning as the building over in Kemet. The buildings in Kemet.
I don't have the name pulled up right now.
Okay, I'll let you do it, Menkipro.
Yeah, I can pull that up for you, Dave.
Okay, now let's say hypothetically, brother. Let's just say hypothetically for argument's sake, right? Let's say that you're right? Let's say that
For
over here.
argument's sake, we're not going to be. Go ahead.
Just say hypothetically, bro. I'm not going to even argue with you about the pyramid over here, over there, or whatever, right? Let's just say for argument's sake, right, that you're right. Those pyramids over here, or wherever you say that, they're older and they're bigger. Now what?
Well, not only that, well, we can get rid of time, whatever. Well, not only that, just the sheer amount of pyramids that you have here. You see what I'm saying? Then you have to ask yourself, how long does it take to develop that science and then totally implement it and manifest it, right? That's the question you gotta ask.
Okay, so we manifest that time or whatever, and we say that. Okay, now what?
Well, what it's going to do is going to show that what you've been told about American history, you've been lied to. So all this time you've been told about Egypt and the great feats there and all the things there. Now you can understand that science that's still being used and copied by European Western science today, your ancestors invented it in this land. And it still endures and plays off into the descendants going into their creation and they invented. This shit is encoded already in your DNA. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When you look at certain structures in America, and then you look at the change in the structure, you're looking at people planning, you're looking at civilization advancing as it goes. You can find it right here.
But nobody ever said that people over here were dummies. Nobody ever said that human beings, period, were dummies.
Wasn't black people, and y'all do act like it. There's no.
I mean, if you study if you ever look at the Olmec heads, if you go and study Ivan Van Sertima before Columbus came, they came before Columbus. He break all that down. So.
Listen, Ivan Van Sertima did good for the time that he did, but that's a part about constantly doing research. Because you search, and then you look at it again, and you do it again. That's research, right? So it's going to be updated criteria that go into this science. It's going to be updated shit that's going to be replaced and swapped. Outdated shit get threw away, new sources pop into place based off of data collected.
All right, check this out. I wanna stop this. Cool. I mean, it's cool. We got to redo this at another time. I got to get out of here soon, so we got to move on. Thank you for coming through. Aboriginal power, right?
Yeah.
Yo, the next time we're gonna set it up where you can bring your sources next time. But I think you that was kind of dope what you said, Tehuti.
Yeah, if there's a structure, if you're talking about the oldest structures, fine. But once you start calling things pyramids, when they serve two different purposes, not even to be compared to each other, and saying, what is the?
I'm saying, no. What would you call the structure? What would the indigenous people of the land that we call Egypt? What would they call that structure? The pyramids in Giza. What would you call?
They're called the Akets and the Aku, or the Mer Aku, and they're called that for a specific reason.
Where did you get that from? What language is that from?
That is in the Metanetter. That's on the inventory. That is in the inventory Stella. So yes, so they call it that structure. They call it that for a reason. The thing that the Aztecs had, or whatever their original name is, the thing that they had didn't serve the same purpose. It's not. They both didn't call those the same thing. So I'm asking you, as the Native American indigenous, just like you asked me, what did they call it? And I gave you an answer. I'm asking you, as the indigenous leader, what do you call your structures? This is the culture you want us to claim. So I'm asking you, what do we call those structures, and what do those structures do, according to the writings of the natives themselves?
They call it Kaveka. I think I go to the encyclopedia for it. Kaveka, made of the gobe. I got to pull it up. Find it.
And what is the purpose or symbol of them in the writings of the natives themselves?
I mean, that's a whole nother deal that I have to pull up. I would just pull it up contemporary, or what we would call colloquial or general consent, which you can go research right now. And if you want to verify what they call those, you can do that. But what I was wanting to lay the ground basis of, because I've heard it on several times, refer to the pyramids in Egypt as pyramids, right? Several different times, right? So that's simply what I'm doing here. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, so I remember when I first spoke to you, Aboriginal, you said there was some things that I said in the Kurimeo breakdown that you had some contentions with. Do you remember saying that?
Yeah, I did.
Do you remember any one of those things offhand, or anything that I said strictly in the Kurimeo breakdown?
Not exactly, but because I told you I was gonna go back and check out the video and write them down. But since I talked to you, like I said, I've been on the road. So shit, I've been on the road.
Okay. No problem. So take your time, put your information together, and come back. At least for me now, because I'm not into the whatever you and Minkep are talking about.
Listen. My information together. I've never planned on coming critiquing your information. So, but since you advised that, I will make it my ordeal to go back and look at some of your work, highlight some of the things that I do have attention points on. And the next time you see me, I will have that written down with information.
Okay, great. Now, for the record, when we did talk on the show, I did say, when you said you did have some issues with some of the things that I was saying to Kurimeo, I did say that when you come on the show, you can bring those issues to the show. I did say
right. Yeah, you did say that, and like I said, that's not my main thing. I said my main factor was speaking on behalf of Aboriginals, because someone was on the platform speaking on behalf of Aboriginals that wasn't Aboriginal.
Okay, my contention with the people that I've spoken to, Aboriginal people. My main contention of the people that I speak to who say they're Aboriginal is that they never give me the teachings from any ancient Aboriginal writings themselves.
Right. When I brought up earlier, when I said codexes, stellates, and murals, we have those.
Okay, great. And when you get them ready, then I'd love to entertain those and talk to you. Maybe you can teach us about them and how you apply them to how you apply the teachings of ancient Aboriginal people that date back to ancient times to your life and raising your family. I would love to hear about it.
I would love to.
Beautiful. Wonderful. I'm all ears and all open.
Another thing is, like I said, I didn't get to see your show with you breaking down or rebuttaling to who was it, Kurimeo. I seen the video before then with Kurimeo actually on there. I don't think you was on there. So that was my whole intention of getting a whole.
So when you said you saw him,
you just happened to be on the show that I told the Aboriginals to come on Killer Priest channel that day. You just happened to be on there doing a rebuttal that day. But it was for the video prior to that, though. Just to let you know.
Okay, so you did not see me breaking down.
No, I did.
Caramel, so you don't have any contentions about what I said about caramel.
We'll look at it this week.
Okay. Wonderful, brother. I'm all ears and open to it.
I appreciate you too.